Hey everybody, thanks for facing by. This is going to be a short segment here. And although it's a short one, I believe it can impact your life in a special way. It's a simple general message that I want to share, and I've entitled it Self-induced Paralysis, Overplanning and Overthinking. Self-induced paralysis, overplanning and overthinking. When it comes to living and winning in life, goal setting, or simply performing a simple task, many make the mistake of losing valuable time by over planning and overthinking. So you may be asking, what does that look like? What does overthinking and over planning look like? You already know. Think about it. What idea have you desired to implement, but it's been sitting on your back shelf of life 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades? So when are you going to get to it? When are you going to make it happen? We've been thinking and planning and thinking and planning, thinking and planning, tweaking and tweaking, but we never take that step to actually actualize the thing that's in our heart to do. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I am somewhat a little OCD-ish when it comes to wanting to be prepared and things to be laid out just right. And I've even been accused of being a perfectionist on more occasions than I'd like to admit. And that's okay. It's okay to have that opinion. But in retrospect, you know, the folks that called me a perfectionist, they might have been right. They might have, but here's what I know that was in my heart. My goal was to ensure that those I support, that I take the time, or that I took the time in times past and prepared for them. I wanted them to know they were important enough for me to properly spend some time to plan for their arrival, to properly plan for their attendance in one of my classes or one of my workshops, seminars, a session that I might have been teaching, or perhaps a meeting that I chaired. So to me, preparation and presentation are very, very, very high on my list. And this applies to every single area of my life, whether it's skating or bowling. If I'm going to do a thing, my goal is to do it not in the spirit of excellence, but to do it in excellence. Okay? So I believe in preparation. But here's what I also know. You've got to know when good is enough. When good, satisfies the situation. You got to know when to say when and when to cut it off, because if planning and thinking paralyzes you and you lock your hands, it forces you to lock your hands and you can't take that next step or that first step, then planning could be doing more harm than good. Over planning can be doing more harm than good. So can I share this with you? You never know what opportunities have been assigned to show up, but they're only to show up when you have taken a particular action or a particular step that you were supposed to take. Okay? You never know what opportunities have been divinely assigned to reveal themselves, but only to reveal themselves when you show up, when you take that step, when you say, I've planned sufficiently, I gave it my best, now it's time to take action. They are assigned to only show up when you take that step, when you take that leap of faith. But here's something we tend to overlook. Not only was it your appointed time to receive a particular opportunity, but opportunity had an assignment too. It was opportunity's appointed time to manifest. but you missed it because you were overplanning, you were overthinking, you were off beat to the drum or the rhythm of your life. And what I've learned is that opportunity is somewhat time release, shall I say. Certain things have to be in alignment before they will manifest themselves. Okay? If they come prematurely, if they show up and you're not ready, then that's a problem. Okay? So don't get me wrong. Planning is good. Planning is very good. The benefit of planning is that if you get off course, at least you can find your way back to where you left off. So planning is good. Okay? I wouldn't live without it. But over planning to a fault, not so good. Thinking strategically is good. It's great, as a matter of fact, but overthinking, spending too much time tweaking and retweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, but never doing. So overthinking can be not so great as well. Here's a true story. Recently, I found myself doing a little extra. And what I mean by this is that I was overthinking and overplanning a particular project. I told a few individuals where things currently stood. I told them about the status of what I was working on. And they let me talk. They let me say, they let me rationalize why I was doing what I was doing. And these upper thinking influencers in my life told me in so many words, they said, Jackie, enough of the delay. And the truth of the matter is that I was calling what I was calling planning, they called it what it really was. They called it stalling. They called it delay. And when you look even closer, you might even say that there was an element of fear there. So I thought about everything they said to me, thought about it very clearly, and I immediately purposed in my heart to do what they suggested. I decided that I would do as they advised. I took the action. I took action on the plan that was already in place. I mean, how many times was I going to tweak this thing? And here's what happened. I accomplished in 2 hours what normally takes a full month for me to accomplish. 2 hours, from 2 hours. Well, from a month's worth of time to 2 hours. Talk about a time saver and increased productivity. If you are like I was in that situation, I encourage you to no longer stall when you know you have adequately planned and thought your actions through. Heaven is not telling you, sit on that a little while longer. You have all the answers. You've prayed about it. You've researched it. And it's just a matter of time. You just need to go on and press that button. This is a formula for not creating what I call self-induced delay. It is even more severe. Self-induced delay is more severe than procrastination. And that's another subject for a different time. Okay? So do yourself that favor. For me, it changed my life in an instant. So that's my thought for today. And I hope that what I've shared supports you in some way. I hope that it changes the course of your life. And if it has, do me a favor, leave me a quick note. You may even want to share this live, share with your friends, share with your family, even share with your enemies if you're so inclined to do. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I'm Jackie Golden. I'm a life coach and business consultant. I support my clients in packaging and selling what they know, what they love, and what they do. And if you'd like to know what that might look like for you, just type in the chat, I'm interested, and I will reach out to you directly. Okay? thank you for doing that as well. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for facing by. And I want to thank you for lending me your ears. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.